Thank you so much for joining me here today. For any foreign national that has inadmissibility issues to Canada, they may be in desperate need for a solution in order to enter Canada. In these specific circumstances, a temporary resident permit may be the best beneficial solution for their issues. A temporary resident permit allows foreign nationals to enter Canada temporarily, even though they do have criminal inadmissibility. Therefore, in this video, I will explain the benefits of a temporary resident permit and how a foreign national can go about applying for this type of application. A temporary resident permit allows for a foreign national to enter Canada temporarily for a specific time period. The validity period for a temporary resident permit can range from up to 1 day to 3 years. This entirely depends on why they need to enter Canada in the first place. When applying for a temporary resident permit, the foreign national must show significant reason why they must enter Canada, for instance, if they need to attend a business meeting. On the other hand, if a foreign national needs to enter Canada to either work or study, they must first overcome their criminal inadmissibility first, prior to obtaining a work permit or a study permit. Furthermore, there are many reasons why a foreign national may be deemed criminally inadmissible to Canada. For instance, if you have been criminally charged with an offense and 5 years have not yet passed since the completion of the sentence, or if 5 years have passed since the completion of your sentence and you are awaiting a decision on your criminal rehabilitation application, in these circumstances, you can apply for a temporary resident permit. Subsequently, circumstances of inadmissibility can include criminal records due to criminal offenses such as assault or theft, diagnosis of an infectious disease, involvement in terrorism, or with a group that sponsors terrorism, violation of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act, also known as IRPA, misrepresentation, or the inability to financially support yourself or any dependent family members. Essentially, there are 2 ways to apply for a temporary resident permit. Depending on how fast you need a decision on your temporary resident permit will determine which route you would take. For instance, if a foreign national needs to enter Canada for a business meeting within a week's time, then they would resort to applying for a temporary resident permit at a port of entry in Canada. When applying at a port of entry in Canada, the foreign national will receive a decision on their temporary resident permit on the same day. In contrast, if a foreign national is not under time constraints, then they may apply for a temporary resident permit at the consulate level. Keep in mind, when applying at the consulate level, it does take approximately 8 to 12 months in order to process the application. However, Citizenship and Immigration Canada highly encourages individuals to apply at the consulate level if they do have inadmissibility issues. It is important to note that if an individual is from outside of the United States, their only option to apply for a temporary resident permit would be at the consulate level. It is important to take all of the information that was said in this video prior to applying for a temporary resident permit. Here at Akrami & Associates, we have worked and dealt with many different immigration matters, and we have helped many of our clients obtain a temporary resident permit in order to enter Canada with inadmissibility issues. If you feel like you would be eligible for a temporary resident permit, please feel free to contact us. With Akrami & Associates, there's always a way.